Hey everyone, welcome back to High Heels to Happy Feels. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Natalie. And Steph, can I ask you something?
Of course,
Have the last few days felt different to you? Like not bad, just buzzier.
Buzz here. I know what you mean. I do. Yeah. I like yesterday, for example, I couldn't even decide if I wanted to start. I have all these new projects in my head. I mean, as you know, right? Or just crawl back into bed. My brain honestly feels like I have every channel on at the same time.
Yes, like one of my kids asked me a completely normal question yesterday, and I heard myself answer way sharper to him than I meant to. Then,
Mm.
like, I was on my phone, I don't know, like I picked it up 50 times. Half the time I couldn't tell you why I was looking at it. Like, and you just pick up your phone and I keep having this feeling like I should be doing something. I just don't know what I should be doing.
Oh my God, the same. So same. Um, I think I updated things this week that I mean they need updated eventually, but they were not the priority, right? At least none of that was priority right now. I had a giant list ahead of me, and instead it was, I mean, I squirreled more than normal, right? I even sent an email. I just wanted to take it back. And it wasn't like I'm using a server where I've got that 30-second rule where I can pull it all back. I'm like, all right, well, it wasn't terrible, but the tone was definitely a little edgier than I meant for that sucker to be.
And that is exactly it. It doesn't even feel bad. It's just kind of like unbalanced or maybe loud. Like there's an electricity in the air, and it happens to be landing on the holiday where everybody already expects that kind of like buzzy and excitement. So I don't think anybody's really noticing that this is feeling a little bit different.
And I think that's really a good way to put it because everybody is so focused on the fireworks.
Mhm.
But I think a lot of people also do feel it, quite honestly, that there's this whole other spark that's just running underneath the surface this week.
Exactly. And that's what I want to talk about today. Like not just the fireworks. You've named it exactly how it needs it needs to be said. It's that spark underneath of them.
I love it.
So, yeah, like one of my friends texted our group chat this week, a completely normal question, what time are we getting together? And that was really it. Somehow it's turned into this long back and forth where everybody was responding just a little too fast. Like, and you know how direct I am. I always comment on that. But it
Yeah.
seems like everybody is doing that. And by the end of this, I remember thinking, nobody's actually upset. So why does this feel so charged?
Oh my God. And we see it happen a lot, right? Through even immersive spirit. It's a conversation with a customer or a member, and it seems to be about one thing, and it suddenly carries an emotional charge. You can feel it that just doesn't quite fit the narrative of that
Mhm.
situation. And every time I have that exact same thought, it's like, this really isn't about the conversation. I mean, what's kicking around underneath of it, right? Because something else is happening here. Something is happening here. What it is
Um,
ain't exactly clear.
I'm
We
with
gotta
you. I
stop.
don't know. Oh yeah, there you
What's
go.
that sound? Everybody look what's going round. Squirrel.
Yeah.
There's my squirrel. All right, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
go.
Exactly. Something
I
else
know
is
it's the whole
happening here.
phase.
Right. And it's not really about the plans. It's not about the spreadsheet. It's not about the conversation. It just feels like everybody's carrying just a little more voltage than usual. And whatever happens to be closest is like where the bolt hits.
It gets it, right? It's like that extra charge. I'm gonna find the closest outlet 'cause I'm gonna plug in.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it
Uh-huh.
doesn't but it doesn't feel like the kind of charge we've talked about before. This doesn't feel like tired or defeated. It feels like revved, like everybody's engine is idling just a little bit higher than normal.
Oh my God. And I don't think people are actually angry. I mean, I think, I'm not getting into the politics part of it, but I don't think people are angry in this particular energy. I just think people are awake. They're more alert.
Mm.
And there's a real difference to that, right? Because when you're tired, everything's going to feel really heavy for you. But when you're wired, everything feels possible. And from the outside, these two feelings can look to somebody else exactly the same.
That's really interesting because if I'm honest, I've had about 10 ideas this week that started with, what if I just, and then, some of them weren't terrible ideas.
Right? And it's, excuse me, this isn't necessarily the energy that kind of makes our lives blow up, but sometimes it's that energy that reminds us that life can really still surprise you. So let me see if I can make everybody listening feel just a tiny bit exposed because we feel pretty raw, right?
I love when you do this. All right. So, um,
First
like,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
have
go.
you noticed you've been saying exactly what's on your mind? Like, not in a mean way. Like what I've been talking about, which is why I'm throwing it out there. Just there's a lot less editing between your brain and your mouth.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there is. Where's the filter? Or maybe you've interrupted somebody. You didn't
Yeah.
mean to, but your brain's just like, oh, I mean, and it's not even one of the rude moments where you're just not even listening at all. And just because there's a lot of those, right? Where people just don't listen because they've got their comment form next. This is that moment of, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm so excited to help you finish your statement and keep this conversation going that I just jump in.
So it's funny because that's like the energy of this podcast right now. Like as you're talking, I'm like, yes, yes, that's it. Yes. But let me say something. That's
Yeah,
exactly the energy. Or you've picked up your phone 10 times in the last hour, not because you're waiting for a text, just because something might happen.
right. It's almost like your nervous system just knows
Yeah.
something's moving and your brain, no concept, can't explain what it is at all.
Yeah, exactly. Or you've had one of those this week, like where you thought, what if I booked
Hmm.
the trip? What if I signed up for the class? What if I finally started the business? What if I painted the room? What if I called the person? What if I? Not because you've lost your mind, but because suddenly it doesn't feel as impossible as it did last week, which is kind of an exciting energy too.
It is. And I think that's one that we really should actually be paying attention to because it's not necessarily something to do today, but because curiosity has a really funny way of pointing us right towards those parts of us that are really ready to grow and ready to expand.
I love that because curiosity feels really different than impulse.
Exactly. Exactly. Impulse is going to say, do it before you think. Kind of that reactionary thing, right? It's just
Mhm.
impulsive. Our curiosity asks, not says, it asks, I wonder what's possible. Not the same thing.
Yeah, those are not the same thing. And
Mm-mm.
that's actually pretty comforting because I think a lot of us have been taught to mistrust that feeling. Like if we suddenly want something different, we should immediately talk ourselves out of it.
Right. And maybe that's wisdom to some extent, but sometimes I
Yeah.
think that's just habit. We've gotten so good at talking ourselves out of wonder that we don't even recognize it when it comes knocking anymore.
That's really good. Yeah, we are talking ourselves out of the wonder. You know
We
what else
are.
I've noticed though is everybody seems faster. And maybe we've kind of made that jump already and you've kind of picked up on how I feel about that. It's just not physically, just faster.
Yeah. Everything feels really urgent, right?
Hmm.
I mean, every headline is breaking, and yet it's almost the exact same headlines. Every notification feels uber important. Every opinion feels like you got to share it right now,
Exactly.
right? Something that it feels like we've forgotten that most things can wait for like an hour, right? We've just, yeah, rush, rush, rush.
That's such a good way to say it. It feels like we're all living with one eye on our actual life and one eye refreshing the world. Like I even had the conversation with both the boys this week, reminding them when I was young, we had one phone that hung on the wall. And if you didn't reach me, you may not reach me for 48 hours because I
Right?
have to call you back,
Yeah. And we may
And
not
now
have an
it is
answering
one
mate.
eye.
Yeah. Right. And you feel it's exhausting because
Mhm.
that time growing up, you don't realize how unattached you are to the mundane, to the things you don't need to. And I don't mean mundane astrologically, I mean mundane in the plain way. That you're not attached to the bland. You're not attached waiting for the phone call, right? Unless you're waiting for like a job to call you or something like that at a certain time. But we didn't have an answering machine for a long time. And we always just had the phone on the wall. So when people called, you did get a busy signal.
Or you didn't answer the phone. It was like I nobody was on demand.
Right. You didn't, because you didn't have caller ID for a long time. And so
Right.
you're like, I don't know who it is. Mm-mm,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk right now. And for some reason, we still don't do that because, and we've given everything this feeling of equal importance, which is
Mhm.
garbage. I mean, whether it's the text message, the news alert, the grocery list, email, weather, for God's sake, a friend's vacation pictures, doing doom scrolling, your own to do list, when every single thing in our lives becomes urgent, how on earth are we making room to breathe?
And I wonder if that's part of why this week feels so energetically buzzy and loud. It's not just that there's more happening, it's like we're carrying just so much information all the time that the volume never really turns down and it just feels heightened this week.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's exactly it. I really do, which is interesting because when you look at the week's astrology going into this next week, it's not an oh no, but it is definitely a well, no wonder why we feel like we all drink three espressos, right? It's like, yeah,
Well, now
right.
I need to
It's,
know why, so we
right.
better just
That,
break it.
the coffee shops that you go into and it says every child left roaming around will be given a shot of espresso and a puppy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
absolutely.
that. Yeah. Hey there. Every week, Natalie and I talk about our soul pillars on our High Heels to Happy Feels episodes. I would highly encourage you head to immersivespirit.com/soul pillars and check out these free tools. There's different things you can download to learn more about interacting with your body, heart, mind, and spirit, and how easy it is to develop your intuition, even at a much higher level with these free tools. We've loved creating them. We really hope you'll take advantage of them. They are free. Immersivespirit.com/soul pillars. And now back to high heels to happy feels. So here's what kind of made me sit up when I was looking at this because the feeling we've been describing, the buzzing, the faster thoughts, the feeling that life could change with just one conversation. And when you look at the chart, it nails it, right? I mean, it's hard not to. Um,
Which, it always makes me laugh a little because people think the astrology kind of tells us what's going to happen. And most of the time, it just describes the room or the energy that we're already standing in. So,
and that's a perfect way to put it because it's less like a script, right? This is the weather. And so you still decide, am I going outside or not? Or do I just need to grab a jacket or am I just going to risk it?
all right. So, what's making the weather feel like this?
Well, this morning at 12:07, I believe it was AM our time here, Mountain Daylight Time, Mars and Uranus conjuncted. And so big sitting together, right? They're in that exact same space in the sky. The last time that happened in Gemini was almost 80 years ago, 1947, I believe. So when I saw it, I'm like laughing, going, "Huh, that kind of explains everybody right now, right?"
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it should explain a lot, but um, Mars is movement, it's courage, it's action, and Uranus is all about surprise, right? Breakthrough, the unexpected. You're putting those two together, and suddenly everything feels like something wants to happen. And Mars is the one transiting into Uranus. So then you've got that also happening in Gemini. And
Interesting. Like, sorry. I don't
no,
mean
go
to keep
ahead.
the energy of the week just has me interrupting because that's exactly how it feels. Okay, so we're moving, we're leaning in. All right.
Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, and it's exactly what it feels like. Life is leaning in, right? It's leaning forward because it's not necessarily just changing overnight. It is leaning like you're standing at the top of a hill and you know something's about to begin kind of energy, right? You can just kind of,
So tell me about this in Gemini.
yes, because it's showing up in the combos, right? In our conversations, ideas, texts, the news we're getting, information, everything that we've been talking about before. And the thing that gives me really the bigger chillers around all of this, Mercury's still in retrograde, right? We went into retrograde about a week ago. We're there until July 23rd, not quite a week ago, but it's in Cancer. The last time Mercury was retrograde in Cancer on the 4th of July, well, I don't know if it was the last time. I won't say that. I will say during the birthday of the United States in 1776, we were also Mercury retrograde in Cancer.
Whoa.
So, right, right. Um, so here we are, 250 years later, talking about words, ideas, our freedom, what we keep, what we rethink. It's not the same history, but it's a fascinating echo.
That's
And
incredible.
right?
It almost feels like this guy is saying, if you're gonna write the next chapter, maybe reread the last one first.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, that's what
Right?
that's my hope for our nation.
Right. Here's the door. Slam it in the face and see if anybody gets it. Retrogrades get such a bad reputation. They're rarely punishment. I mean, they're invitations. They're to revisit, to remember, to rethink, to go back a little bit, and sometimes to rediscover something you forgot that you loved.
I love that because we've returned to this retrograde into the word everybody is afraid of. When
Mhm.
really it's just some of the best conversations I've ever had is because we've had to slow down and think about things again.
Exactly. And that's it. And Mars is saying move, right? Mercury is saying think. Neptune, which also turns retrograde later this week, quietly asks, what if you imagined it differently? And then Venus changes signs and says, okay, how do you actually move? It's almost like the whole sky is handling its different pieces of the same conversation.
Wow, that's good. And it's not like what should you do? It's more like what kind of life are you actually trying to build?
Yeah. I mean, this conversation that started this morning, this whole um, Mars and Uranus, I mean, I just feel like the vibrations, the rebellion, I'm waiting. It only lasts for this little burst, this conjunction energy. It's only a few days, but I'm just really thinking that the ramifications, the trickle down effect, the things that come from it over yesterday, which was July 3rd, here today, the 4th, our Independence Day, and the 5th, will have longer lasting impacts. And I think that really tells us this whole week. It's it's not really just about the fireworks. It's
Mhm.
all about the bigger possibilities for all of us. And so, for anyone listening, your practical part about this, it's not a week where every spark needs to become a decision. Just
That's
because
an
that idea,
important distinction.
right? Just because a decision shows up or an idea shows up quickly, not a decision, does not mean you need to make that decision or take immediate action upon it, right? It also doesn't mean you should dismiss it. This week is here to capture that spark before you even chase it down. So write it down, say it out loud, let it breathe for 24 hours, right? Let that retrograde before you're going to go communicating and spitting everything out. Be conscious and think about it. If it still feels alive and good tomorrow, and ask what that next grounded next step might be.
So, can I tell you where my mind actually went with all of this? Because it wasn't the group chat or the news. It wasn't even astrology. It's was the 4th of July, like when I was little. Like I can still picture it, the folding lawn chairs, the citronella candles, the smell of somebody grilling the burgers, all the kids running around with sparklers, you and I included, trying to
Hmm.
write our names in the air before they burned out. And the adults weren't watching the fireworks, they were watching us.
Yeah. God, I love that. And we forget that part. The adults were always watching the kids first.
Yeah, you know what? And I don't remember ever worrying about anything. I remember like wondering what the next firework was going to look like. I remember looking up that that's what struck me. I spent the whole night looking up.
Yeah.
And
And it's such
it's
a simple difference, right?
it is. It really is. But I just have that same exact buzzing feeling this week, that same electricity in my chest. Like only this time I'm not looking up, I'm looking around, checking my phone, running through my to-do list, thinking, what am I forgetting or missing? And that's the same feeling. It's just a really different story.
Yeah. And I don't think that's just you or it's just me. I mean, I think it's really adulthood, right? And I have a feeling if we were to go back and ask our parents in that time as they were watching us what else was on their mind, it might be a different conversation as well. But somewhere along the way, we stop experiencing energy and we start trying to manage it, right? Which is,
Mhm.
in my opinion, a little bit of an illusion anyway.
Yeah, that's good. We start managing it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what kids do when they
Hmm.
hear fireworks? Think about how they run to the window. And
Oh, yeah.
the adults are, of course, like, oh God, where's the dog? You know, or I wonder who still has fireworks left. And I hope nobody starts a fire. Please don't catch my house on fire. Please don't be the idiot that's doing this when we're not supposed to be doing fireworks, right? Because of
That's
the
so
fire danger.
painfully accurate.
Oh God, right? And it's the same sound, different story. Kids are like, woohoo, and they're mad because the fireworks have been banned, and parents are like, God, no one's gonna burn down the house. Yay, it's
Right.
wild.
Right. That's exactly. And I don't think, um, yeah, it's just so
And it's
looking
yeah,
back on things and looking at it from a different way in our adulthood, especially days like this when you have such vivid memories of being a kid.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Nothing's changed, right?
well,
I mean, the person listening has changed.
yeah, and I don't think that happens all at once. I think like there was one birthday Wonder packed its bags and left. I think it happens every just a little bit more every year, and there's a little more responsibility and a little more disappointment and a little more things that we have to keep track of until one day you just stop looking up. And that's, I mean, I know that sounds very kind of uh, but you
Yeah,
stop looking up, you start looking around. You pay attention to your pets and your kids and like who's going to burn your house down if they light that damn firework.
right? The cynical, the adulting.
Right. That's exactly.
It's the adulting. And I think that's one of the quietest things about growing up. Nobody tells you the trade you're making for it. You gain wisdom, you gain perspective, you gain responsibility. But if you're not careful, you slowly lose wonder. So we start mistaking all the wonder and the glory and the for warning, 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 alert, tornado warning. Whereas think about tornado warnings. We'd be so
Yeah.
excited as kids. I mean, it was scary, but it was like, we got to grab the radio and listen, listen,
Totally
listen, and
different
parrot.
perspective.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It was
When
all
did,
about, and now it's like, did you get the pictures off the wall? How's our insurance? Where's everything?
yeah, when did everything become sirens?
Oh my God, that is so good. I don't know. I think everybody listening knows exactly what you mean, though, because somewhere along the way, a lot of us stopped assuming life was happening for us, right? And we started assuming everything is happening to us, which sucks. It's a hard way to carry the world.
Maybe that's why this week caught my attention because for a second, underneath all of the noise, I kind of recognized that feeling again, just the electricity of it. And it made me wonder, what if I don't need less electricity in my life? What if I just need to remember that it doesn't always mean that something is wrong? Sometimes I can just be excited about things.
I love that. We just need to be children and wonder. It'll be
Yeah,
good to
yeah.
just tune out this afternoon, even as we do this, right?
Yeah, right.
I
So
know.
I think that the soul pillars kind of fit here really naturally. Um, we don't have to make them fit. They kind of already does.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It really does. One of the pillars asks a different question about, I think, the exact same moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, okay,
Yeah.
so the mind for me is the easiest one that's going to fit the situation because we always love to label those things and our mind is renowned for that. So like this is exciting or this is dangerous. I should worry. I should get ahead of this. Our brains are constantly trying to explain the feeling as we're experiencing them or even before we're experiencing them.
Right. And thinking
Mhm.
about that, our minds are usually trying to protect us. I mean, they're not trying to steal our wonder from us. They're trying to keep us safe. But that logical, it's almost like the left and the right going against together. An example of this is like you're at a concert and you're not watching the concert because you're too busy videoing the concert for a video that you're never going to watch again anyway.
Oh, that's so true.
Right? It's the same thing. Don't let you're letting it steal the wonder. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, this week isn't asking us to like ignore the feeling. Maybe it's just showing us pay attention to a different have a different perspective about it. Ask a different question. Things have changed.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of what's wrong? maybe asking, what else could this be? Right.
Right?
And the
Exactly.
heart was actually one I think that kind of surprised me because I don't think this week is asking us to feel more. I think it's asking us to trust what we're already feeling. And there's kind of a difference there, right?
Hmm. Say more.
So, yeah, well, so sometimes we spend so much time trying to figure out what we're feeling or whether what we're feeling, I guess, is valid.
Hmm.
We never stop to try, I don't know, digging into the curiosity, the excitement, the restlessness, the hope. I mean, because they're not really problems to solve, they're really more conversations to have.
I really like that. They're conversations, they're not emergencies.
Yes, we have to remind ourselves constantly. And I think you just need to remind me it's not an
Yeah.
emergency. Yep,
Like it's so hard to slow down though in the world that we live in.
it
Like
is.
it is just crazy. So
Yeah,
the body to me feels obvious on this one.
this is a big one for us. Body, body,
But yeah,
body.
body somatics are so important, folks. But for sure, this week my body was definitely ahead of my brain. Like I was moving faster. I've been sleeping differently. Like I said, I was picking up my phone, walking into rooms and forgetting why. Like my body was already in the conversation and my brain was just, trying to catch up with everything that was going on.
Right. God, bodies are wonderfully honest. They don't usually hide the energy well.
No.
And it's funny because I was doing the same things and I thought, oh, well, I'm 56. Do you think that's part of it? No, it's totally energy. I'm going with that. There's there's nothing I was walking in there for that has anything to do with my age. So our bodies aren't just they don't just always tell us that the energy, what it means, because that's really our job.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have the spirit. And this might actually be my favorite one this week because spirit doesn't ask, how do I make this feeling go away? Spirit's going to ask, what's coming alive here, right? What wants to come alive?
And
Yeah,
that is kind of a beautiful way to look at it because those are really completely different questions. One is assuming the feeling is a problem, and the other is kind of opening it more to maybe it's an invitation.
exactly. That's exactly it. And I think that's the thread through this entire episode that we've talked about because the electricity for us is going to be here either way. So the question is whether you feel it or not whether you feel it, I should say. The question is really is what's the story that you're going to tell about that energy, right?
Yeah. So when the energy feels big, don't ask yourself, what do I need to do? Ask yourself, like, four things. Like, what is my mind saying this means? Or what is my heart actually feeling? Or what is my body asking for? And what might my spirit be trying to wake up in me? Because those four answers may not be the same. And when we pause long enough to hear all of them, we can stop reacting to the electricity and start working with it and living in it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. And start living in it, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, let's leave you guys with something that's going to be really practical. If this week has felt buzzy or restless or emotional or charged, which we know it has because we're
Yeah, we
all
do.
living it together,
Hmm.
try this before you react. So pause and ask, is this urgency or is this aliveness? Like Steph said.
I love that. That one question can change everything. So urgency usually is going to say, do something right now, or you're going to miss your chance, right? Total FOMO. Aliveness says, pay attention. Something in you is waking up.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
those are really good. So notice where you feel your energy in your body tonight, like as you're watching all of the fireworks and all of that, and in your chest and your jaw and your hands and your stomach. Just see where your body's matching your energy.
Yeah. I love that. Then ask yourself, what is the feeling? What what is the feeling? And is it trying to move me forward, right? Not what is it trying to make me do that's impulsive or what is it trying to do to make me move toward the conversation, it's truth, a creative idea, a boundary. Is it a new beginning that it's moving toward, right?
Yeah, and through all of this, give your energy somewhere safe that it can go. Stephanie had mentioned this, and I was taking note as we were going through. Write it down or take a walk or just all of those thoughts or things that are coming through you. Just give your energy a location. You can clean a space, like declutter something, move your body, Tai Chi, Qigong, talk it through
Hmm.
with someone who is grounded, who's not going to spin you up. Because when Steph and I talk about energy, uh, it's an explosive thing because we start building on each other. So we have to make sure one of us is grounded, keeps us on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Staying around somebody grounded or doing grounded things together ahead of time before you get into that energy can be so
Yeah.
critical. Because the goal is not to shut down this spark, right? The spark is
Yeah.
killer. You want that momentum, you want that curiosity. But the goal is to quit mistaking every single spark for an emergency because they're
Hmm.
not. So.
Hmm.
I don't think this week is asking us to become different people. I would say it's definitely not because we're not going to, right? But it is asking us to remember a version of ourselves, whether it's childhood, whether it's when you were a young adult, whether it was yesterday. It's the one that could feel the energy without trying to explain it or immediately trying to justify it. The one who could be surprised. And I don't mean like angry surprised. I mean,
Right.
ooh and ah surprised. The one who still believed something beautiful might be just waiting to happen anytime.
I really love that. I think that's a really good perspective to take on like not everything is an emergency and not everything is a nightmare that's about to happen. Because I don't think adulthood is what took that away from us. Life just gets really full, like bills and calendars and all of the responsibilities and the people who depend on us. It's easy to spend so much time looking around that we do forget to look up at the wonder.
I agree. It's so true. And I think that's probably why you and I love astrology so much, right? Not because it predicts everything, it's not a predictor like that, but because every once in a while it nudges us and says, hey, did you notice this? Because sometimes all we need is that reason to pay attention again and or pay attention to everything around us. And I think that's really our invitation this week because we don't, and I loved your thing about a siren, so I'm stealing it again, because we do not have to assume that every spark is a siren. Some of them, some of those sparks are just pointing us toward something that's really ready to come alive.
Well, and so I think I kind of stole the siren from you because that's what made me think of it as you were talking about like when we're kids and you heard the tornado sirens or you heard like all of the
Oh,
things that pull in your energy. So I actually stole the siren from you first, so you can totally steal it back. That's totally fine.
thank you. I love it. Yep, we're keeping it.
We're
Okay.
keeping it. So if this conversation resonated with you, we'd love to keep exploring together. You can visit us at immersivespirit.com where you can download our free Soul Pillars guide and just experience everything that's out there on the site. We also have our town square community. They get, all of the inner workings and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. And Town Square is free for your first 30 days, right? So come enjoy some live workshops with us. We love to work with people on intuitive development. And we do group Reiki. It's distant Reiki, but you're welcome to be a part of those sessions as when you're a free on the free membership as well. Everything is open to you with those 30 free days. So we'd love to have you join us. And the
Come
soul
spend your
pillars are
energy
there.
with us. If
Come
you if
spend
you
your
need a location
energy.
for your energy, we are happy to share it with you.
Yes, and we're happy to help ground with you too, right? So, yes. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please, please, please share, subscribe. We'd be so grateful. Leave us a review, leave comments. We love, love reading the comments. We're
Or
starting to
questions.
finally get more. Yes, or questions, because we're happy to answer questions too. So, thanks for spending this time with us on this beautiful 250th birthday in the United States of America. Happy 4th of July to those that are going to celebrate or that are here in the US with us. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Natalie, and we hope you
And
have an amazing week, and we will see you again next week.